Hey everyone, welcome back. Remember 6 months ago when I talked about the ZXMoto 820RR? Back then, the comments section was full of people calling it Chinese junk, or just another spec sheet warrior that would never hold up in the real world. Well, today, those comments didn't age very well. This triple-cylinder machine, the brainchild of Zhang, didn't just compete, it absolutely humiliated the establishment. At the WorldSSP round in Portimão last March, it secured a crushing double victory, leaving the Ducati Panigale V2 and the Yamaha R9 in its wake. Valentin Debise didn't just win, he proved that ZXMoto's 819cc engine has the performance and durability to make the big players look nervous. This wasn't luck, it was a wake-up call. Now that the production versions are coming into focus, we need to break down the 3 variants available because the differences are actually quite significant. We start with the standard 820RR priced at 45,800 yuan or roughly $6,325. This is the daily driver of the lineup, but it still carries that racing DNA, pushing out 135 horsepower with creature comforts like cruise control and cornering ABS. Interestingly, even on this base model, the chassis features adjustable geometry that allows you to manually adjust the front fork rake, a feature you almost never see on mass-produced bikes in this segment. Moving up the ladder, we have the 820RR, which sits around 52,800 yuan or starting at $7,290. This trim is all about weight reduction and suspension efficiency, with the weight dropping to 186 kilograms thanks to carbon fiber body panels, forged aluminum wheels, and a full titanium exhaust system. One of the highlights here is the KYB suspension, which uses a DLC coating to minimize friction. With power bumped up to 145 horsepower and a 6.2-inch Android-based instrument cluster, this variant is the perfect sweet spot for those who want track-ready tech that's still enjoyable on the street. However, the real star of the show is the 820RRRS, the very bike that served as the base for that historic win in Portimão. Retailing for about 62,800 yuan or roughly $8,675, this thing is a total beast. We're looking at a maximum output of 150 to 153 horsepower and a dry weight of just 173 kilograms, putting its power to weight ratio at nearly 1-to-1. 819cc engine is packed with titanium rods and valves, while the subframe and oil pan are made from magnesium. The hardware is equally elite, featuring full Öhlins suspension and Brembo GP4 calipers, components you usually only find on the most expensive superbikes on the market. Now, I'm not saying the legacy brands are finished. Build quality and dealer networks still matter, but on a pure performance per dollar basis, ZXMoto is making them look stagnant. With deliveries starting this April and a global launch fast-tracked for late 2026, the excuses are running out. People love to talk about brand heritage, but heritage doesn't win races, and it certainly doesn't justify paying double for half the spec. ZXMoto is no longer a budget alternative, they are a legitimate threat to the global hierarchy. So be honest, are you still gonna hide behind the Made in China stigma, or are you ready to admit that the game has officially changed? Drop your thoughts below, see you in the next one.